Every couple years, there'll always be a highly anticipated prospect coming into the league that will be a consensus #1 pick, and most of those guys turn out to be superstars. Players like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Zion Williamson, once-in-a-lifetime can't-miss prospects. While other top picks don't turn out as well, a couple others became good players, but not all-time greats, still had super productive careers. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Today, we'll take a look at 10 very good first overall picks that's been somewhat forgotten and barely talked about. I'm not talking about current players like the Dwight Howards and John Walls of the world, but retired players who's had great careers that barely gets any recognition for their greatness. Starting with number 10, Larry Johnson, a can't-miss incredible athlete out of UNLV. The 6'6" power forward started in junior college. One of the most incredible college players in the early 90s, Johnson was a bull down low, an insane athlete, doing Zion things before Zion, and a gifted rebounder. Grandmama made an immediate impact, winning Rookie of the Year. Looked like he was going to be a superstar who was supposed to be a better version of Charles Barkley. Had insane dunks, ran the floor as well as anybody, weighing at 250, but only made 2 total All-Star teams. Missed 31 games his 3rd year with a serious back injury. Slowed down, developed more of an outside game, well-rounded. After 5 seasons with Charlotte, traded to New York because of his beef with Alonzo Mourning. Johnson became a role player, most memorable for his legendary 4-point play, which made him a Knicks legend. Helped the team get to the finals, but played just 2 more seasons. Retired in 2001 due to back issues at only 32. Averaged over 16 points, 7.5 rebounds for his career. His exciting style of play will always be cherished by fans in the 90s. Number 9, Elton Brand, the 6'8", 275-pound power forward out of Duke, was picked by the Bulls in the 99 draft. We only talk about him now since he's the GM of the Sixers. Simply doesn't get enough recognition because of his injuries. An amazing low post player with a big body, averaged 20 and 10 his first season, good enough for co-rookie of the year alongside Steve Francis. The Bulls shockingly traded Brand to the Clippers after his 2nd season, drafted Eddie Curry, swapped Brand for Tyson Chandler. Didn't work out too well for Chicago. Being on an awful franchise, Brand continued to dominate down low, solid on defense, averaged over 2 blocks in a 6-year stretch. Most memorable for his 2006 season, averaged almost 25 points, 10 rebounds, 2.5 rejections. For a 47-win Clippers team, took everyone by surprise. After adding Sam Cassell and Cuttino Mobley, Brand became an MVP candidate, making 2nd-team All-NBA. The 2-time All-Star had a solid mid-range jumper, very versatile offensively, overshadowed by other forwards in Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, and Dirk Nowitzki. Missed most of the 2008 season with a ruptured Achilles. Opted out of his contract for payroll flexibility, but signed with the Sixers. Only played just 29 games his first season in Philly. Became a shell of himself the second half of his career, having career averages of almost 16 points, 8.5 rebounds, 1.7 blocks, 50% shooting. That Achilles injury might have sadly stopped him from becoming a Hall of Famer. Number 8, Glenn Robinson. The 6'7" small forward was a monster at Purdue, earned the nickname the Big Dog because of his hustling style of play, was hated by the media right from the beginning, demanding to sign the first ever $100 million contract before playing a single NBA game, even sat out training camp, eventually agreed to a rookie record, 10 years, $68 million, the richest NBA rookie contract. The cap was implemented for first-year players the following season. Robinson was a monster right away, averaged almost 22 points, over 6 rebounds, but didn't win Rookie of the Year because he was in the same draft class as Jason Kidd and Grant Hill. Swept under the rug, the two became franchise players, while Big Dog's team finished under 500 each of his first 4 seasons, despite averaging between 20 to 24 points. It wasn't until when head coach George Karl took over did the Bucks start winning. Robinson made the All-Star team in 2000 and 2001 after adding Sam Cassell and Ray Allen. Milwaukee was a game away from the finals in a controversial series with questionable calls favoring the Sixers. Many thought it was rigged against Milwaukee. Robinson also spent time with Atlanta and Philly before signing with San Antonio in 2005, his final season, winning a title coming off the bench. Retired after due to knee injuries, has career numbers of 20.7 points, over 6 rebounds in 688 games. Number 7, Brad Daugherty. The 7-foot center was one of the greatest bigs to ever play at UNC, former college teammates with Michael Jordan. The big man was on some very good Cavs teams, can run the floor, move without the ball, a terrific passer, a 16-8 guy right away, never averaged less than 3 assists in any season of his career, made 5 total All-Star teams, All-NBA third team in '92, spent all 8 seasons in Cleveland, averaged almost 22 and 11 in his prime, not flashy, but very efficient, made 5 postseasons, but eliminated by Jordan's Bulls 4 of those 5 times, forced to retire at just 28 years old because of reoccurring back injuries his last season, averaged 17 and 10, a 19 and 9 guy for his career, very similar numbers to Yao Ming, also 3.7 assists, 53% shooting. Although he wasn't known for his defense, his post moves and footwork makes him very underrated, playing in an era with superior bigs in Moses, Hakeem, and Ewing. Daugherty's name gets forgotten, and unfortunately, he's not in the Hall of Fame. Number 6, Mark Aguirre. The 6'6" small forward spent 3 seasons at DePaul, even picked ahead of Isaiah Thomas, selected by the Mavs, had his best seasons with the franchise, averaged 24.6 points, almost 6 rebounds on 49% shooting with Dallas, earning 5 playoff appearances, advanced to the conference finals in '88, only to fall short to the Showtime Lakers in '7, even averaged 29.5 points his 3rd season on over 52% shooting, made 3 All-Star teams because his team didn't achieve high success in the playoffs. Aguirre's high scoring efforts often gets overlooked, traded to the Pistons for Adrian Dantley and a first, helped Detroit win its first ever championship in '89 and repeated as champions in '90, became a role player with the Bad Boys, sacrificed and took fewer shots, combined with playing better defense, retired after the '94 season after a year with the Clippers, having career numbers of 20 points, 5 rebounds on over 48% shooting, overshadowed by other forwards in his era like Larry Bird, Dr. J, Dominique Wilkins, and James Worthy. Aguirre is so underrated and forgotten, he's not even in the Hall of Fame, an absolute travesty. His numbers and body of work is absolutely Hall of Fame worthy. Number 5, David Thompson, who is in the Hall of Fame, known for his insane leaping ability and one of the game's best dunkers, earned him the nickname Skywalker, doing similar things in the air to Michael Jordan before MJ, one of the best college players all time out of NC State. Back when the slam dunk was still banned by the NCAA due to the Lou Alcindor rule, Thompson started his professional career with the ABA, despite also being drafted first overall by the Atlanta Hawks. After the merger, Thompson continued with the Denver Nuggets. After posting 26 points his first season, Skywalker continued his dominance, 25.9 points his first year in the NBA, made 4 All-Star teams, 2 first-team All-NBA, even scored 73 points in an NBA game. That's how great Thompson was. Went as far as the conference finals in '78, falling to Seattle. A foot injury caused him to miss the final second half of the 1980 season. Battling those injuries, Thompson also struggled with drug addiction, was never the same in his late 20s, had his career cut short at age 29, his final season, 1984. His ABA and NBA numbers combined, 22.7 points, over 4 rebounds, 50.5% shooting, affected by cocaine use. Sadly, Thompson could have been one of the all-time greats. Number 4, Chris Webber, drafted by the Orlando Magic but traded to the Warriors. The 6'9" power forward was one of the most versatile forwards, instantly put up 17.5 points, 9 rebounds, over 2 blocks his rookie year because he never won a title. Plus the injuries, Webber is forgotten amongst the all-time power forwards. Traded to the Bullets after his rookie year because of issues with head coach Don Nelson, who wanted him to play center. C. Webb dominated with the Bullets. The 5-time All-Star averaged 21, 10, and 4 in 4 seasons with the nation's capital, an excellent passer and shooter, but suffered a shoulder injury, missing 95 games each of his first 2 seasons with Washington. Traded to the Kings, Webber flourished as a superstar, had his best year in 2001, averaged over 27, 11, and 4, finished 4th for MVP voting, made his first and only All-NBA first team, made 5 All-NBA teams combined, became the best player on a heavy contender, revolutionized the game with flawless ball movement. The most complete team in 2002 fell to the Lakers in 7 games, the controversial 2002 conference finals, a series that haunted Webber and the Kings forever. The following year, many believed Sacramento would win it all. Webber sadly suffered a devastating knee injury in the second round of the playoffs, never became the same, traded to Philly in the middle of the 05 season, also spent time with Detroit and Golden State before retiring. In his prime, Webber was right up there with the likes of Duncan, Garnett, and even Baird and Nowitzki in the early 2000s. It's absolutely pathetic after all these years, Webber's still not in the Hall of Fame. Number 3, Walt Bellamy. Going way back, the 6'11 center was drafted by the Chicago Packers in the 61 draft, had an insane rookie season, averaging 31.6 points, 19 rebounds, winning Rookie of the Year. His name never gets mentioned since he never won a ring. The 4-time All-Star was overshadowed by Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. Wasn't successful in the playoffs after being traded in the 69 season. Bellamy's most known for playing 88 games in an entire season, a record that will never be broken. Averaged over 20 and 10 for his career, scored over 20,000 points, grabbed over 14,000 rebounds. Number 2, Bob Lanier. The 6'11 center was picked up by the Detroit Pistons in the 1970 draft. An 8-time All-Star, never gets mentioned amongst the best centers. Known for his low post scoring, an unstoppable baby hook, a great touch around the basket. Finished 3rd in MVP voting in 74. The same season, he won All-Star Game MVP. Traded to the Bucks in 1980. Spent 5 seasons in the Midwest. Made his first and only conference finals in 84. Retired after, having averages of 20.1 points, 10.1 rebounds on 51.5% shooting for his career. Lanier could have been better if it wasn't for his knee injuries, which required surgery 5 times, played through pain often throughout his career. Number 1, Elvin Hayes. The E-Train barely gets talked about when it comes to the all-time best power forwards. The 12-time All-Star scored over 20,000 career points, put up insane numbers as a rookie, 28.4 points, 17 rebounds, but somehow future teammate Wes Unseld won the award. Hayes spent his first 4 seasons with the Rockets before being traded to Washington. A solid defender as well, had 10 seasons of averaging at least 20 and 10, won a scoring title, a 2-time rebounding champ, made 6 All-NBA teams, 3 first, 2 defensive teams, finished top 5 in MVP voting 3 times, was the best player on the bowl list, but because it was Unseld's team, Hayes gets overshadowed, won the 1978 title, was the best player on that team, but Unseld won Finals MVP since Hayes bowed out in Game 7. Playing in an era where the NBA wasn't as popular, given his accomplishments, Hayes should absolutely be talked about more, but wasn't known as a clutch player and relied heavily on the turnaround jumpers. Nonetheless, one of the most durable players all time, played 1,303 out of a possible 1,312 games. Honorable mentions includes Doug Collins from the 73 draft, had his career cut short by injuries, made 4 All-Star teams, Michael Thompson, the 78 draft, the father of Klay Thompson, a decent role player, Danny Manning, the 89 draft, a 2-time All-Star, and Derek Coleman from the 1990 draft, averaged over 16 and 9 for his career. Who do you think's the most underrated first overall pick all time? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe for more content. I love all of you. See you next time.